Inc. Let me give a brief introduction of our honorable speaker. Dr. Chanchla Jain is an author, research expert, and academician with an experience of more than 11 years in management and commerce as an assistant professor. She is a co founder of Urja Counseling and Training Indore. Presently, she is working as assistant professor in Prestige Institute of Management and Research Indore. As a research expert and trainer, she has conducted many workshops and FDPs on SPSS module, research paper writing and analysis through R programming, Excel, and Jamovi. As an author, she has also written a book on a very crucial problem of our society titled as Atmahatya Kyun. Ma'am, we are really keen to hear your wise words.
Thank you so much, Asmi ma'am. I hope I'm audible clearly.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Asmi ma'am. Ajay sir, shall I start?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
yes, ma'am. Please, please.
Sir, I think you was calling me. Because of the session only.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am. Please go on.
Yes, thank you so much, sir. Okay, so very good evening, everyone present over here on this Google Meet platform. Uh, at the onset of this particular session, this particular FDP, I want to extend my sincere gratitude firstly towards to the RFI family, especially the Ajay Jain sir and Saurabh Jain sir for giving me one more time invitation to conduct this FDP. And I welcome you all in this 5-day program. I think schedule is with all of you. You all have seen what I'm going to discuss in these 5 days. Today is the day one where I'll talk about the descriptive statistics using Excel, right? So the pedagogy for this particular 5 days FDP will be, I'll discuss the conceptual aspect firstly, and then we'll see how we can use Excel to perform the concept, right? So I think I have already shared one Excel file with all of you. I hope you people have seen the file which is available in the WhatsApp group. So while I'll do the hands-on on the file, I'll expect you also to perform along with me if you want to get a better exposure of this FDP. I hope you have understood what I said. Okay, Mamta ma'am, do you want to say something? You have raised a hand. Yes,
Actually,
Mamta
ma'am,
ma'am.
actually, I didn't receive the file.
Are
So
you
can
there on
you?
WhatsApp group?
No, ma'am, I'm not there.
Okay. Asmi ma'am, hello. Because in the Google Meet, I cannot share the file. There is no option there in the Google Meet to share the file. So here I cannot share. From RFI only, Asmi ma'am, are you there? Hello. Ajay sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, can anyone of the RFI team can share the WhatsApp group link here in the chat so that some of the participants can join?
Yes, ma'am. Please share me on my personal number. May I share in the group?
Okay. Okay. Fine, sir.
Please.
Okay. Let me check if I'll be there in a group. Even I'll take just a minute. FTP group. Those who are here in the meeting, and if they are not there on a WhatsApp group, you can share your numbers in the chat box. I hope you can hear me.
Ma'am, may I share in a text message, in group text message here?
Fine, sir. Thank you so much. So, friends, sir is going to share the WhatsApp group link in a chat. Through that, you can join. Meanwhile, I'll discuss discuss the concept of the descriptive statistics. Then any one of you, those who have received the file, they can share this file there in the group again, right? Is it okay, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, fine. So one more thing I need to say before starting the session. The thing is that when I'll share my screen, I will not be able to see any one of you because there is this kind of restriction in the Google Meet. So I'll request you, if you want to ask me something in that whatever question you are having, right? I think link is available in a chat. You please check. Visible? Link is visible to everyone? Yes, friends. Shall I proceed?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Fine. So I'll share my screen first. Okay, I think I just a minute. Just a minute. Some problem. Just a minute. Okay, I think my screen is visible to every one of you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Visible.
Visible. Thank you so much, sir. So, as this in this particular FDP, we are going to use Excel as a software for understanding the analysis part. Here, I think working on Excel, it is very familiar interface to each one of you. But still, I'll tell a few things which can help us for this particular FDP. Generally, this is known as a workbook when we talk about the Excel. There are multiple worksheets we can enter, right? Generally, the columns are, these are the vertical, what I can say orientation, these are known as the column. The horizontal orientation is known as the rows, right? And the combination of row and column, that means wherever these two are intersecting, this is known as the cell. Fine. So this way, this is the very basic thing about the Excel. Apart from that, if I will talk about Excel for the data storage from the point of view of the research, so generally we are keeping the variables in the columns, and each row will represent a case or the respondent responses, right? So this way, this we need to understand from the point of view of the data analysis. Further, we also know this thing that in Excel there are various functions are available. This is one facility available in Excel. Using the functions also we can perform certain statistics. This is knowing we need to start a function with the equal sign, right? So we will see all these things once we will start working or doing the hands-on on the data with on the in the Excel environment, right? So now I'll start with the basics of the research. Firstly, we'll talk about the descriptive statistics. So always I start the session with a single or this very simple word known as the variable. I hope what I have written is visible to everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. So here I am writing. Question is, what is variable? Because when we talk about the analysis, we need to know variable first, right? So variable is an entity which stores values or which is not constant is known as variable. right? This is known as this is a very simple definition I have written for the variable. Further, there are various types of variables available, right? Like qualitative, quantitative, discrete, continuous, independent, dependent, etc. So, can any one of you tell me what do you understand by the qualitative variable? Yes, anyone?
Which cannot be measured.
Which cannot be measured?
Like in numerous form.
Yes, which cannot be represented in the number form is known as the variable, which is qualitative in nature, right? So qualitative variables is the variable which can not be expressed in number. Okay, sir, can you give some
Like
example for
gender.
this? Yes.
mm, Then
Okay. Anyone else? Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Grades. Swapna ma'am is saying grades. Ma'am, can we say grades is the nominal skill variable? Beauty, Shri Devi Gopal ma'am said beauty. Fine. Okay. Anyone else? Other? Yes. Intelligence. Okay. Fine. Fine. Any other answer?
residency, ma'am, urban or rural.
Honesty. Honesty. Okay, I think so many examples are coming, but you need to understand. Just a minute. Just a minute. I am writing here. As ma'am said, okay, I'll write beauty. Fine. Okay, then I'll write honesty. Fine. Then marital status. I think all these we can say are the variable which are qualitative, which are quantitative. Again, it is opposite to qualitative. That means which can be expressed in numbers, which we can quantify, are known as quantitative variables. So example, can anyone give? Okay, Girija, behavior good for the qualitative. Yes, yes.
Age.
Age. Okay. Sales good. Height good. Age. Sales. Height. Salary, I think someone said or written. And any other?
Marks.
Marks good. Profit, revenue. All these come under the quantitative variables, right? Further, quantitative variable can be divided into the two parts. The discrete and the continuous, means this is this subdivision of the quantitative variables. So when I say discrete, discrete meaning is when a variable can be expressed in whole number form. It is known as discrete, means a variable which can be expressed in the integer form is known as the discrete variable. Can anyone give example for discrete variable? Yes. Anyone? Yes. Yes. Sheikh sir. Any example from your side? Okay, count, population. Okay. Okay. Any other?
Number of students in the classroom.
Number of students, very good. Number of members in parliament, in family, number of chairs in a class, number of tables in a class, means which cannot be expressed in the decimal point are known as the discrete variables, right? Then continuous is opposite to this, which can be expressed in the float form or in the form of fraction form, in the form of decimal values, is known as the continuous value. So what can be the example for this?
Height.
Yes.
Height.
Hmm.
Days. 1.5 day.
Hmm.
Marks.
Fine. Anyone else?
Blood pressure.
BP, yes.
Oil, milk,
Good.
etc.
BP. Then income, I think you said. Then milk, or we can say liter when I buy milk in the form of liter, etc. Right? Milk cannot be the continuous variable, but the unit which we can say it is the continuous variable, right? So these are the some of the examples for the continuous variable. Next is the independent variable. Anyone is having the idea for the independent variable?
Ma'am, variable which is not depend upon anything for change or changing in itself.
Yes, which is not depending on any other variable. Is known as the independent variable. So I think we will take the example independent and dependent together. When we say dependent, dependent is
which is depend upon independent variable.
Which is dependent on independent variable is known as the dependent variable. Very correct. Now, example, can any one of you give me of both the variables together?
If a student does not have breakfast, he will tired in the classroom or he will sleep in the classroom if he or she does not have breakfast.
Yes.
So breakfast is not dependent, but his or her tiredness or is dependent upon breakfast. So breakfast is independent variable.
Yes. Good. Thank you, ma'am. Lubna ma'am, thank you. I think Kirti ma'am has written GDP is independent, and I think one has written height and weight also.
मेरा नाम राना सईद है, ये लुबना जो है
Okay, so I can see only Lubna. Sorry for that. Okay, so I think age and height, weight and height, and income, demand and price, right? These are the some of the examples of independent and dependent variables. Apart from that, there are various other variables also available, right? Exogenous variables, mediator, moderator. All these are. So the sub-classification of independent variables will be like mediator, moderator, exogenous, etc. will be, right? So broadly, this is the major, what I can say, classification of the variable. Now, the next thing comes, which is the measurement scale. So I think we know this thing that usually when we talk about research and as we are dealing with the variables, so we know I think I can speak. Mamta ma'am, will you please mute yourself? Mamta ma'am. Yeah. So, friends, if you want to speak to me, if you want to convey something, in that case, you can mute yourself. After that, please mute yourself, right? You can unmute when you want to speak. Otherwise, please mute yourself so that everyone can listen it properly, right? Thank you so much. Talking about the measurement scale. So, as I said, when we talk about the measurement scale, so why the need of measurement scale comes? So, usually in research, we are dealing with the various kind of variables which cannot be measured directly. These kind of variables are known as the we are using the measurement scales. Or in other way around, I can say that there are some variables for measuring them we are not having any apparatus available, right? As here you people have given the example of honesty, beauty, etc. So I think these are some of the variables which we are using for the classification, motivation, temperament. These all we cannot say. Neither we are having any units for measuring them, right? We cannot express beauty in the form of any unit or honesty in the form of unit, right? We cannot say a person is having some milligram honesty, right? I think it will not we can say for the honesty or beauty or for the satisfaction, motivation, etc. Opinion, temperament, these all we cannot say. So for such kind of variables which cannot be measured directly, we are using the measurement scales. I think one of you have written in the chat also. I think when I have switched from my screen to the Google meeting link, I think I've seen one of you have written in a chat. Shared Kirti ma'am said nominal, ordinal, ratio, and interval. These are the four scales, right? So the name of the scales are nominal scale, ordinal scale, interval scale, and the ratio scale. So the sequence will always be the same which I have written here, because as we progress or as we go from one scale to the other scale, every scale will be having the qualities of its previous scale, right? So when I talk about ordinals, ordinal will be having the qualities of nominal, interval will be having the qualities of the previous two. So that way, sequence will always be the same. Now talking about the first scale, which is the nominal scale. So nominal scale is what? Nominal scale is a scale which we are using for the classification or categorization purpose. Or also we can say for the identification purpose. Right? Is it clear? Is it clear? Is it clear, friends? Please say something.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Fine. So when I talk about this nominal scale, I think the example always I say suppose gender, right? So we know on the basis of the gender, generally it is a quality, right? We can say we can differentiate among men and women on the basis of their gender. I can say these are the females, these are the males, right? So when I classify my respondents on the basis of on the basis of the gender, we can say there are two categories usually, that is male and female. If we are not including the other gender, that is the transgender. So suppose we are studying only for or making or doing this study only for the male and female kind of people. So that way I can say there are only two groups or categories available named as male and female, right? So on the basis of gender, we can classify the people on the basis of that means these are the male, these are the females, right? So categorization is possible only. But further, if I talk about the next scale, so the quality in next scale is the rank order. Apart from this, it is having the next quality which is known as the rank order. So this quality I cannot apply here. Rank order means I cannot order these two categories, right? So apart from this, ordinal scale will be having the next quality which is known as the rank order, right? So when I again coming to the gender, I can say gender is I can divide a person on the basis of their gender, and that is these are the males, these are the females. When I talk about this identification kind of thing for the nominal scale, so this is usually from the point of view of the numbers. So for the purpose, we need to give coding to the categories, right? So for example, I have given 1 or suppose 0 and 1. That means 0 represent the male category, 1 represent the female category. So in this case, there is no comparison in this 0 and 1. I cannot say 0 is less than to the 1 or 1 is more than to the 0. This cannot be said here because we know this thing 0 is a representation of the male category and 1 is the representation of this. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. Next is the ordinal scale. As I said, classification, categorization, and identification, all these things are possible under the categories, right? So for example, I am always taking the example of height. Suppose tall heighted people, middle heighted people, and the short heighted people, right? So you can classify the respondent that these are the tall heighted, these are the middle heighted, these are the short heighted. Also, possibility is there that you can arrange them in the ascending or the descending order. Tall people, middle of arrangement is possible. A ranking or ordering is possible in case of the variable which is coming for the ordinal category, right? Is it clear? May I proceed for the next scale?
Yes, ma'am.
Next one is the
Yes,
interval
ma'am.
scale. Yeah, thank you, ma'am. So next one is the interval scale. So here it is having the qualities of its previous is equal, distance, or difference, right? So for example, I'll always make clear this scale by the example of temperature. Suppose I'm having the some so for example, I have written 20 to 25 degree, 26 to 30 degree, 31 to 35 degree. So suppose there are certain cities available and I want to classify those cities on the basis of their temperature. Some cities are having generally the temperature between this, some is having this, some is having this, likewise. So that is a classification possible. Also, you can see, you can arrange these intervals in the ascending and descending order also. And also there is an equal distance. So this way, this is known as the interval scale example. But there is a problem with the interval scale, and the problem is what? Problem is that the interval scale is lacking with the actual zero or the absolute zero. This scale is not having the actual zero. So if this scale lacks absolute or actual zero, right? This scale is not having this thing. So that is why if I say, means if I want to make you understand this thing in terms of this temperature, so meaning is that when we are saying the actual zero is not existing, so actual zero is not meaning it's still present there, right? Same is the case of temperature. When we say 0 or the 0 degree temperature, so we should not feel either cold or hot. But we know at 0 degree, one of the characteristics of the temperature we can feel, which is cold. We can say today is very cold day, right? So at 0 degree, we can of temperature is available at the 0 degree. So we are saying 0, but it is not actually 0. The thing which we are measuring is still present there. That is why this kind of scale is coming or known as the interval scale. Right? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
The next scale is the ratio scale. So all these three things, that is classification, rank ordering, equal distance, all these will be there. And apart from that, it will be having the actual or absolute, right? So the example I are suppose income or height or weight, etc. These are some of the examples of everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. Further, I'll talk about the next thing, which is statistics. Okay, so anyone can say what do you mean by statistics? Yes. Anyone?
It is the study
Anyone?
of data, quantitative data in which we arrange or add or addition and subtraction, etc.
Okay. Hmm.
It is the branch of mathematics in which we find out percentage, find out, we try to know the percentage
Hmm.
and try to know the mean,
Hmm.
median, mode.
Correct. Lubna ma'am, thank you. I think, sorry, forgot your name. It is showing Lubna, so that is coming in my mind. Sorry. So I think you one or two people have written in a chat. Swapna ma'am is saying collection, analysis, presentation of the data. Chandran sir is saying presentation of the data. Very good, correct. So, okay, so I'll come to the Excel and I'll talk about this. When I say statistics, I think many one of you are saying correctly. When I talk about these statistics, statistics is nothing but it is the collection, organization, presentation, analysis of the data is known as statistics, right? Means in these statistics, we are having the data, we are collecting the data via the various sources like primary and secondary sources. We are collecting the data, we are organizing the data in the proper form using the tabular form, etc. We are organizing the data. We are presenting the data generally using by the charts and graphs. And if we want to go further, we want to get more insights from the data, we can analyze the data, right? So this is known as statistics. Now, one, I think, a limitation of the statistics, I already told you that statistics can deal with the numbers. This is the limitation. Further, when I talk about this, there are classification of the statistics, that is inferential and descriptive statistics. I must write descriptive and inferential because firstly, descriptive comes and then inferential comes. Two categories, that is descriptive statistics and the inferential statistics. Today agenda is we are going to study the descriptive statistics, right? So anyone is having the idea about the descriptive statistics? Yes. Any idea?
In which we describe the status of any situation.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Quantitatively describe the status of any situation.
Okay. Okay. Too many answers are coming. Okay, fine. Yes, Aditi ma'am said correctly. Very good. So descriptive statistics is what which is helping you to summarize your data or to describe the data or to understand the data. Right? So descriptive statistics will be there or will help you, will assist you to summarize your data, to describe your data, to understand your data, or to get more insights from the data or to understand the nature of the data. This is generally the work of descriptive statistics. All we are generally first thing which we are performing on the data is known as descriptive statistics, right? So this is a very important part of the statistics because this will help us to understand what kind of data we are having or what is the nature of the data is, because accordingly the next treatment we will give according to that, right? So this is the thing about the descriptive statistics. Under the descriptive statistics, there are so many methods coming. So can anyone tell me what are those methods? Yes? Anyone? Yes, Mamta ma'am, please.
Central tendency,
Hmm.
like mean, median, mode.
Hmm. Yes, correct, Mamta. Anything else? Anyone else? I think rather than writing in chat, it will be good if you are interacting, because I need to switch from one screen to other screen if I want to see your chat. Yes. Anyone? I think many of you are writing. It's better. It will be better if you can speak. Please be interactive. Yes. Okay. No answers. You want to means you do not want to interact me. Maybe possibly. Fine. Okay. So I think there are various methods available. Using that we can describe our data, right? So one of the method is known as the measures of central tendency, which I think ma'am has already said, Mamta ma'am has already said. The name of the method is the measures of central tendency. Fine. So next method name is, I'm writing here, measures of central tendency. That the measures of central tendency. Yes.
Mean, median,
Yes.
mode.
Mean, median, and mode. So when I talk about measures of central tendency, means when we want to get or when we want to get the idea of the center of the data. So we need to use certain measures, and these measures are known as the mean, median, and mode. Apart from that, there is measures of dispersion. Generally, there are various measures available, but we need to talk most used measures, which is the standard deviation and variance. So when we want to find the deviation in the data, usually from the mean, how all the observations are deviating or differing from the mean value. This type of study, if we want to do, if this type of idea we want to get, we are using the measures of dispersion like standard deviation and variance, right? Then next is measures of distribution. Under this, we are using skewness and kurtosis. So, anyone who is knowing about skewness?
If probability curve something distorted because of deviation.
Yes. Very good. Good attempt, ma'am. So I think how many of you have heard about the bell-shaped curve? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Who else? Who else? Okay, I think I copied a bell-shaped curve here on the Excel sheet. Visible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. Generally, thermal distribution curve, this is known as the bell-shaped curve or the normal distribution curve. This is generally indicating whether your data is normally distributed or not. So here you can find there are three different shapes you can see of the bell-shaped curve. The middle one, which is in the black one, this is the perfect normal distribution curve, right? When you can see the blue one, this is the what I can say. I need to write this thing here firstly. When I talk about the kurtosis, kurtosis is of three types: mesokurtic, leptokurtic, and platykurtic. Right. Similarly, for the skewness, if I talk about, it is positive and negative. Fine. So when I come to this particular graph, which I have taken from the browser, from any of the website, you can see when I say mesokurtic means the perfect distribution, perfect normal distribution, right? So the blue one is indicating the leptokurtic, means here the sharpness of your curve will be more, right? And tails will be little away from the x-axis. This is your x-axis. So you can find there is a gap in blue, and this x-axis is line, right? When I talk about the platykurtic, platykurtic means it is when you are what I can say, it is a shape of the plate. When you are, what I can say, keeping on like this is known as the platy cutting, right? So this is indicating sharpness you can find here. You can check or you can compare the sharpness, which is very less in comparison to the previous two curves, right? So here the tails will be closer to the x-axis. That means less number of data will be falling on the tails. In case of the leptokurtic data, most of the data points are falling on your tails. This is the meaning of this. When I talk about the kurtosis, kurtosis will help you to understand the sharpness of your curve and also the tails of that particular curve. But when I talk about the skewness is the measure of asymmetry. Means whether your data is symmetrical to mean or not. This is we are checking in the skewness, right? Or from the skewness. So generally in the normal distribution curve, this is the meaning that this middle value, there will be a middle line. I think I can draw a line here. Where is shape? Yeah. So this is the middle line. This is indicating that your mean will be this. This middle line is indicating mean will be falling to this. So that means 50% data should be at the right side, 50% data should be at the left side.